Through a small forest of recently planted trees, we approach Fatima, the city of the miracle. Fatima has been one of the biggest Catholic shrines in the world since 1937, when it is believed the Virgin Mary appeared to 3 shepherd children as they were tending their family sheep. They had the same vision on the 13th of every month from May to October of that year. Some pilgrims choose to approach on their knees. There are visitors to Fatima throughout the year, but it is on May 13th and October 13th that it receives the most pilgrims from all over the world. It is located in a square twice the size of St. Peter's Square in Rome, capable of holding 1 million people. The vast neoclassical basilica was built in 1953 in recognition of the importance of the site to pilgrims. With a 213-foot tower, it contains the tombs of the 3 children. Just along the road, heading south, is Batalha and their Dominican Abbey of Santa Maria, one of Europe's greatest Gothic masterpieces. It is protected as a UNESCO World Heritage Monument. We have come to see and photograph it, but some delightful young ladies, seniors at the local high school English class, have spotted us and decided to practice their English. Sue was greatly enjoying the moment, so I took my camera and moved on. The Abbey's exterior is spectacular. Gargoyles surround the upper roof level. These gargoyles are also known as fabulous beasts and were built to function as roof rain drains. The name comes from the Latin word meaning gullet or drain. In the vast Gothic interior are 16th century stained glass windows of exceptional beauty. And in the Founder's Chapel are the tombs of King Juan, his Queen Philippa, lying hand in hand, and their sons, including Prince Henry, the Navigator. After a visit, a little shopping, and a tasty lunch, you'll be ready to move on to Cohimbra. Cohimbra is one of Portugal's oldest cities. It was already an important location in Roman times. It was the capital of the country from 1139 to 1256, and its university, founded in 1290, is one of the world's finest. The 17th century Iron Gate entrance to the university is heavily steeped in tradition. Beyond is the courtyard known as the Patio das Escolas. The bell tower is the symbol of the school. It has summoned students to class since 1733. A center courtyard on school property is well lit and monitored. It is the college bus stop, making it quite easy and safe for everyone. Along the Portuguese coast, and especially in lagoons and estuaries, there are underwater seagrass meadows. Historically, seagrasses in Portugal were used as fertilizers for the soil, mulch in gardens, roofing, and mattress filling. These species have roots, give flowers and seeds, and therefore are more closely related to lilies of the flower family. These unusual marine flowering plants are called seagrasses because the plants often grow in large meadows which look like grassland. This Costa Nova area features a nice harbor, a small city, and some beautiful houses. One section of the area features candy-striped homes. Originally, the painting was for fishermen to find their distinctively colored and striped houses in fog or foul weather conditions. The idea caught on, and new residents today have happily joined in. Storks do not seem so particular in their house colors. All they want is something high and safe. Freeway signs may be noisy, but they are high and remote from predators. This sign-bearing structure has 4 nest apartments, as does the next one, and then the next one, and then 2 on the high electrical tower. That's 14 in about 1 mile. Aveiro is a charming city on the southeastern edge of a scenic lagoon. It is crossed by 3 canals spanned by low-arched bridges. The canal itself is lined with beautifully painted gondola-like boats known as molaceros. The fishing boats are Phoenician in design with bright colors and eyes painted on the vessels, supposedly with the magical power to avert storms. These were once mainly used to collect seaweed, but now transport tourists down the canal for a scenic overview of the city. On the coast is Nazaré. It is said that this picturesque village got its name from a statue of the Virgin Mary brought to town from Nazareth by a monk in the 4th century. A funicular climbs the 360 feet to the city of Sitio, high above. It is Nazaré's port that brings their greatest fame. The port is extremely well protected on a coast that produces challenging storms. The fishing is varied and quite good, and so large numbers of fishermen ply their trade from here. Seagulls appreciate the bounty that cleaning and filleting fish produces. Making sure that hooks and long lines are ready can be a long chore, and fishermen approach it differently, some with smiles and some with grim determination. But all know the job must be done. Lamego is an attractive town with Renaissance and Baroque mansions overlooked by 2 hills. On a hillside above the town is the monumental Sanctuary of Our Lady of Remedies, built in 1761. A marvelous granite double staircase decorated with tiles, fountains, small chapels, and statues leads up the 686 steps to the Baroque church at the top. There is an annual pilgrimage to this site on September 8th when the pilgrims climb the steps, some on their knees. A 15th century bridge crosses the river Corvado into Barcelos. The city of Barcelos is a pleasant riverside town. It is famed as the country's leading ceramics and crafts market. Its origins are as a Roman settlement, and a number of partial structures still survive from that era. This cross has a rooster carved into its base, rather strange for a religious symbol. A 13th century legend says a pilgrim, on his way to Santiago de Compostela, stopped in Barcelos and was wrongly accused of theft and sentenced to death by hanging. He was spared when he stated that to prove his innocence, the roasted rooster that the judge was about to eat would get up and crow. It did, and since then brightly painted ceramic cockerels or roosters are sold throughout Portugal as symbols of good luck. Nearby Braga also has something to brag about. Just east of the city is Bom Jesus do Monte. It is considered to be Portugal's most spectacular religious sanctuary. With that goes the title of being one of the most photographed religious sites in Portugal. Inside the roomy, somber church, attention goes to the many 18th century paintings and the golden glow of the main altar depicting the crucifixion. Viana do Castelo enjoys a beautiful setting on the north bank of the Lima River estuary. It was an important seaport during the Age of Discovery. Standing on the hill of Santa Lucia is the massive Santa Lucia Basilica. Modeled on the Sacré-Cœur in Paris, inside 3 rose windows illuminate the interior and exceptional frescoes. The altar and inner dome are interwoven and considered to be among the most beautiful in all of Portugal. There are exceptional panoramic views from the top, including a very special bridge. In 1878, Gustav Eiffel constructed a double-deck cast-iron bridge across the Lima River. It doesn't take long to recognize his very distinct style and flair. Like all of his projects, it has outlived its projected survival date. It does get constant upkeep and is partially closed for some maintenance at this time. Ponte de Lima is a market town on the south bank of the Lima River, which flows west from Spain. It faces a magnificent Roman bridge that gave the city its name. Its setting, together with its friendly, laid-back atmosphere, makes it one of the loveliest small towns in Portugal. It was founded on the site of a Celtic settlement and developed by the Romans. They celebrate their medieval history along with Folklorico in early June of each year. It's all in fun, and everyone has a great time. Food is, of course, hot right off the grill, and there's plenty of it. They are very proud of their old and well-used Roman bridge. The folklorical parade begins at 11 a.m. and there is lots of excitement in everyone's preparation. These are all separate dance groups. Each has identification and a member carrying a pole with participation and competition banners on it. The girls wear floppy shoes that slip on their feet continuously and must take a lot of practice to walk on, especially on these cobblestone streets. The parade ends and there is a short break before the folklorico competition begins. Portugal is a delight to visit. Its small size and exceptional roads make it easy to get around. The variety is surprising. Green mountains, rivers, and broad agricultural plains open to ocean vistas of long sandy beaches and deep coves that harbor fleets of fishing and pleasure boats. Historic sites are throughout the country. All this is backdrop to one of the warmest, friendliest countries to be found anywhere. It's the people who make the difference, and their smiles are warm and welcoming. This is Portugal. You'll see all of this and more on an AmaWaterways river cruise.